You are not asleep, you are not awake. You are somewhere in between, and you have no idea it is happening. Every single morning, your brain passes through a hidden 2-second window. Most people never notice it. Some people live for it. And almost nobody knows what is actually going on inside their skull when it happens. But the real answer is far stranger than waking up. Right now, somewhere in the world, a person is lying in bed, eyes still closed, and their brain is running a system so old it predates language, predates fire, predates the human species itself. You have run this system every single day of your life. You just never stop to ask what it is. Let's start with what you already know. You go to sleep, you dream, you wake up. Simple, right? Not even close. Sleep researcher Michel Jouvet discovered in the 1960s that your brain does not shut off at night. It shifts states. It moves through stages, cycling roughly every 90 minutes, diving deep into slow, heavy sleep, and then rising into a lighter, twitchy phase called REM. In REM, your eyes dart back and forth beneath closed lids, your muscles go almost completely limp, and your brain becomes, in some ways, more electrically active than it is while you're reading this sentence. That is the state you are usually in right before you wake up. And the moment you cross out of it is not a light switch. It is a slow fade, like a dimmer being turned by an invisible hand. Scientists call it sleep inertia, and it can last anywhere from a few seconds to nearly half an hour. But the very first 2 seconds, the ones right at the border, are the strangest of all. Here is what is happening inside your head in that window. Your brainstem, the ancient part of your nervous system responsible for keeping you alive without asking permission, starts flooding your brain with a chemical called noradrenaline. Think of it as your body's internal alarm clock, except it doesn't ring. It floods. Sleep scientist Matthew Walker has described this shift as one of the most dramatic neurochemical transitions the brain performs in a single day. One moment, your brain is soaked in the chemicals of dreaming. The next, it is being rapidly rewired for wakefulness. But rewiring takes time. And for those first 2 seconds, your brain is neither one thing nor the other. You are, quite literally, running 2 operating systems at once. Part of your mind is still tangled in the logic of your dream. A logic where gravity bends, where dead relatives still answer the phone, where you can breathe underwater without a second thought. Another part of your mind is already receiving signals from the real world. The weight of your blanket, the temperature of the room, the sound of a bird outside your window. For 2 seconds, both systems are talking, and your brain has to decide which one to believe. This is why so many people report a strange sensation the instant they wake up. A flicker of confusion about where they are, or a lingering emotion from a dream that makes no logical sense anymore, but still feels completely real. Dream researcher Rosalind Cartwright spent decades studying this overlap, and her work suggested something remarkable. Your emotional brain wakes up faster than your rational brain does. You feel before you think. You feel dread, or comfort, or grief, seconds before your mind can explain why. Now picture this 2-second window 10,000 years ago. You are not lying in a soft bed in a locked house. You are on the ground, in the open, in a world full of things that want to eat you. Waking up slowly was not a luxury back then. It was a risk. Every extra second spent in a foggy, half-dreaming state was a second you weren't scanning for danger. So why didn't evolution just delete this groggy window entirely? Why not make waking instant? Because the 2-second gap isn't a flaw, it's a filter. Your brain uses those seconds to check the environment before committing fully to alertness. Is it safe? Is it familiar? Is anything different from when you closed your eyes? It is, in a strange way, still doing exactly what it did for your ancestors sleeping in the open grass. Scanning first, reacting second. That means every morning your brain briefly becomes a scout, checking the world for threats, using a system built for a savannah instead of a bedroom. Here's where it gets stranger. Some people learn to catch this window on purpose. Lucid dreaming researchers have long pointed to the edges of sleep, falling asleep and waking up, as the two moments where conscious awareness is most likely to slip into a dream while it's still happening. In that narrow gap, some people report vivid hallucinations while technically still awake, known as hypnopompic imagery. A shape in the corner of the room, a voice that isn't there, a face that dissolves the moment you focus on it. Your brain hasn't finished separating imagination from reality yet. For most of history, people didn't dismiss this as a glitch. Many cultures treated the space between sleep and waking as sacred, a place where ancestors spoke, where warnings arrived, where the boundary between the living and the dead grew thin. Modern neuroscience gives it a less mystical name, but the experience itself hasn't changed even slightly in thousands of years. The 2 seconds are still exactly as strange as they always were. Only the explanation has changed. So what does this mean for you tomorrow morning when your alarm goes off? It means the confusion you feel is not weakness. It's not you being bad at mornings. It is your ancient brainstem doing precisely what it evolved to do, refusing to hand full control to your conscious mind until it has confirmed, however briefly, that the world outside your eyelids is still the same one you fell asleep in. It means that flicker of sadness after a bad dream, or that flash of comfort after a good one, is your emotional brain finishing its shift before your logical brain even clocks in. And it means that every single morning, without exception, you personally pass through a threshold that connects you to every human who has ever lived. Not metaphorically, literally, the same chemical flood, the same overlapping systems, the same ancient scout, checking the grass for danger before letting you stand up. You almost never notice it. It takes only 2 seconds. But for those 2 seconds, you are not asleep. You are not awake. You are something older than both. The same flickering in-between creature your ancestors were, the moment before they opened their eyes to face the world.